Lemonada.
You can focus on exercise, nutrition, all the things you're supposed to do for your health, but if you are not sleeping well, it is very hard to feel refreshed.
Especially when you wake up overheated in the middle of the night, that completely affects my sleep, which is why I love the ChiliPad 2.0 by Sleep Me. It is a water-based mattress topper that controls your sleep temperature and works with your existing mattress. And if one person sleeps hot and the other sleeps cold, and that's Adam and me, each side can have its own temperature setting, which is amazing.
Yeah, and I also love that it automatically starts when you get into bed, so it feels seamless. Visit www.sleep.me/Gretchen to get up to $255 off your ChiliPad 2.0 with code Gretchen. This special offer is available for happier listeners and only for a limited time. Order it today with free shipping and try it out for 30 days. You can return it for free if you don't like it with their sleep trial. Visit www.sleep.me/Gretchen and see why cold sleep is your ultimate ally in performance and recovery. You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Hello, we're here for More Happier, a podcast where we get happier. Join us for some weekend listening. It's observations and reflections, but we're kicking back with a looser vibe. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, Gretch.
Today we'll talk about whether we get tired of thinking about how to be happier. And I'll also ask Elizabeth about something she said on Happier in Hollywood that amazed me. But first, something making us happier. Elizabeth, what is something making you happier?
Well, Gretch, I've talked a lot about how I've been socializing more lately, seeing more people, going out more. And what I've realized that is making me happier is that you can build your social muscles. So it can feel so effortful to socialize. And like it's so exhausting. And the idea of doing it is overwhelming. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. And it really is building that muscle. And then it takes less room in your brain sort of before, like thinking, oh my gosh, I have something on the calendar Tuesday. How am I going to handle it? I'm going to be so tired. But no, once you go out and start doing it more, then it's just easier to do.
So many things, the more you do it, you're just sort of in the habit of it. It doesn't feel like such a big deal. That 1 week you went out, what'd you go? You had like 4 plans in 1 week.
Yes. And then once you've done 4 in a week, well, then doing one thing in a week seems like nothing, seems so doable.
Right.
So again, it's like that muscle. And I think it's just a relief or comforting to me to know it does become more incorporated into life and easier and more manageable when you do it more. Also, it encourages me to keep doing it so that I don't let my social muscles atrophy.
Well, and the thing about socializing too is if you do things, then other people will invite you to other things. If you host, then they invite you. And then if you show up, then people are like, oh, she's interested in this kind of thing. I think that on the margins, maybe you'll go to things that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise gone to. You're sort of like, maybe I'll go. Yeah. But it's funny how taking the room in your brain, it is the kind of thing where with some events, I don't think about them at all, but there are other ones where it feels like it takes a lot out of you before you even go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing that is true, and I don't know if this is exactly on the topic of building your social muscles, but when you say like going out leads to more invitations, etc., I also find that often when people are together, they start thinking about other things
Yes.
to do together.
That is such a great point. That is so true.
Yes.
So often. No, or you go to an event and then you're like, oh, we should get together for lunch. And so then you have a lunch with somebody that you haven't seen in a year.
Yes. And so you want to be there when those other plans are being made, because often those are really fun things.
Yeah.
So that's a reason to go. We're always saying just show up, or, say yes, even if you want to say no, and follow through. And we have all sorts of tips and tricks for doing social things. And so one of them is be there when the plans are getting made. If someone's coming up with a fun weekend away, you want to be one of the people on the planning end.
Well, one of the funniest things, and this was a long time ago now, that's an example of this, is I have my children's literature reading groups.
Yes.
So a towering classic of modern children's literature is Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials sequence. Everybody in this Kidley group knows these books because they are these towering classics and they're so good. And so there came the day when, this was a long time ago, when the first movie of The Golden Compass came out. And we were all there and we're like, let's all go. And of course, all these people had work, but we just picked a day and all these people played hooky from work and we all snuck out and watched The Golden Compass. Now, that first Golden Compass movie was no good. So we didn't enjoy the movie and we were rolling our eyes the whole time. But it was just such a fun thing. And it was just this spontaneous thing ooh, can we all just make this secret plan and meet at the movie? And then we met in the movie theater in the middle of a work day. It felt, I still remember it because it felt
so illicit.
Oh my gosh. It was like, ditch day in high school or something like that. It was so fun, but it just came out of that group because I would never on my own have done that or thought to say to somebody, let's do it. It came out of just the energy of being together in the group.
Yes.
And it was so fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is really giving me a lot of happiness. And it's also feels very summery going out and building my social muscles. So
this feels like such a big idea to me. I think that we should do a whole, try this at home about build your social muscle.
Oh, I
and
love
really
that.
think about what is it. I think this idea of if you've done 4, then 1 seems more manageable. If you're in the habit of it, it gets easier. If you're there, plans lead to more plans. Plans lead to reciprocal plans. So anyway, listeners, if you have any thoughts about building the social muscle and how to build the social muscle, it's interesting, Elizabeth, this is one of our major themes right now.
Yes.
Which is
it's connection,
the connection of social.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also because people work from home. The idea of planning a social life or even networking events and things like going to conferences, all these things, they just seem like you have to be more deliberate about it.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Well, I can't wait to hear what people suggest for building your social muscle.
Okay. Well, that's a very happiness boosting realization. You can build your social muscle.
What about you, Gretch? What's making you happier?
Oh, I have to say it again. It's the Knicks. I know. Okay. Can I just say that this is the bonkers thing is I've never really been interested in sports at all, but sort of as the empty nest, something Jamie, he had these friends. They decided, okay, let's share these season tickets. And Jamie said to me, okay, now you're going to have to get interested in the Knicks. And at first I was like, no, I'm not going to. And then I thought, no, that's a great idea. I've always wanted to know, could I just decide to be interested in something? Okay. My timing was impeccable. In fact, several friends of mine are saying to me, Gretchen, you should take credit for this because the minute you started paying attention, you started rooting for the Knicks, all of a sudden they have these incredible runs. I'm managing to take an interest in the Knicks. It couldn't be easier because it's such a great team and they're all such good guys and it's all so exciting and fun. And New York City is so enthusiastic and the games are so much fun and the New York City spirit is so high. Patting myself on the back that I've managed to take an interest in the Knicks. But listen, you know me. You see how out of character this is for me.
Yes.
This is a stretch.
Yes.
This is a stretch goal for me.
Right. And to be clear, you didn't just happily go along to the games and not complain. You did your homework. You were learning about the players, thinking about trades, worried about somebody's injury. You really went in and learned.
Yeah, when Thibodeau got fired, I was very concerned. But it's funny, the things that interest me, Jamie's like, that's not really very important. I did a whole little happier on having your number be 0. And a lawyer-like way, I said to Jamie, I simply don't understand how 0 can be a number for the purposes of a basketball jersey. And he's like, a lot of people have 0 or 00 is their jersey. And I'm like, how can that be? I did a whole deep dive. If you want a link to that little happier where I go into the mysteries of zero and why people choose zero. But anyway, so that's not the kind of thing Jamie spends any time thinking about. But I have gotten much more into it. And I'm so happy because it's brought me closer to so many people and allowed me to participate joyfully and sincerely on things where I think in the past I would have been like, oh, go next, and tried to change the subject as soon as somebody started talking about it.
Well, Gretchen, can I point out, I think the Knicks' amazing performance in this finals has made lots of people happier around the country, because just watching something so joyful is happy inducing. It's made me happier. I was completely into it, and not even because I'm such a Knicks fan or have ever watched basketball, but because I was swept up in the passion of the fans. I was rooting for the fans as well as the team. It was just so big.
But so here's something that's very interesting that I've noticed. I keep thinking if I were writing a PhD paper, and I think there actually is a paper that I want to look at, which is touching, the practice of touching and how basketball players touch each other. There's this whole thing, if you take a free throw, and then like even if you miss your free throw, all your players come and they touch their hands and stuff. I wish people would do this in a meeting all the time. If my coworkers were giving me a pat on the back every time, I honestly think I would be doing a better job. But one of the things that was interesting to me is when they won, how often people said to the players, tell me how you feel. Explain your feelings. And Jalen Brunson was like, I can't explain my feelings. And Mike Brown said, who's the coach? It's surreal. And then even when some of the players did say it, you kind of got the feeling that they were saying the thing that you would obviously say, like, we've been working so hard and it's a dream come true and we're so glad to do it for the fans. It's interesting because I think people really are like, let me come into this moment with you. It is such a moment of happiness and such joy and relief and teamwork, and tell me how you feel. But that's a very hard thing to do, to convey that. And I think sometimes the players were baffled. They're like, I just can't. It doesn't feel real.
Yes. And I love seeing New Yorkers who are so diverse and, you know, from all different walks of life, hugging each other and celebrating together. And it's just a feel-good moment.
It's funny because also New York has all these songs. You'll have like a giant crowd of people and they're all singing New York, New York. And then there's a giant crowd of people and they're all singing Empire State of Mind. And then there's the Go New York Go song that now everybody's like, what's the origin of the Go New York Go song? It's just really fun. So that's making me happier. And so my goodness, Jamie, he is a lifelong Knicks fan. This has been his dream since he was like 4 years old. So he's like, we got to do something big to mark the moment. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm thinking about it. So our whole family is like, okay, what are we going to do to mark the moment? It's going to be big. It's going to be epic.
I can't wait to hear about it. All right, Gretch, coming up, there's something you've been meaning to ask me, but first, this break.
I had one of those weeks where the to-do list just kept growing, little repairs, things to mount, random projects I kept putting off, and eventually it all starts taking up mental space, even when you're not doing it. And that's why I've been using TaskRabbit. You can book a skilled tasker for furniture assembly, home repairs, mounting, yard work, whatever you need help with.
And you can search based on reviews, availability, and cost, so you feel good about who's showing up. I finally handed off a project I had been avoiding, and let me tell you, it was such a relief just to have it done. I use TaskRabbit, and you should too. When life happens, your to-do list grows. Get ahead of it now and get $15 off your first task at TaskRabbit.com or on the TaskRabbit app using code HAPPIER. That's $15 off your first task using promo code HAPPIER with the TaskRabbit app or at TaskRabbit.com.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Summer always changes what I want to wear. I stop reaching for anything heavy or complicated and just want pieces that feel light, comfortable, and easy from the first second I put them on. That's why I keep coming back to Quince. Their linen pieces especially have become my default this time of year. I have a linen button down from Quince that, it's one of those pieces that works for everything, for travel, for dinner, for weekends. It feels much more expensive than it is. I love that Quince uses high quality materials like European linen and organic cotton, but everything is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands because they work directly with ethical factories.
Elevate your summer wardrobe. Go to quince.com/Gretchen for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Gretchen for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Gretchen.
Okay, Elizabeth, there's something that I've been meaning to ask you, and this goes to your position, volunteer or recruited, to be a happiness guinea pig alongside me with all of these ideas. And I just was starting to wonder, we have halfway day, we have design your summer, we have design your year, we have the challenges, we have demerits, we have gold stars, all these things. You have Happier in Hollywood too, which is a whole other podcast. Do you ever get tired of all this planning and talking? It's just happiness, happiness, happiness.
Yes.
What do you think? What's your experience?
Gretch, I don't really get tired of it, but I think I wear it somewhat lightly. In other words, I don't feel that I have to do every single thing we talk about or make it like if I don't do it, then my life is over. Like I feel like I'm not an upholder like you.
Yeah.
So I'm not as rigid. But yet, having the plans, making the lists, coming up with the themes, as an obliger, it really helps me to sort of have that accountability. But if sometimes I fall down on the accountability, I don't beat myself up, if that makes sense.
I feel like that's the perfect thing because it's sort of like don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Because I think if people are too hard on themselves or extremely stressed out, then that can work against your happiness. But making the plans and aiming, it's funny because there's a whole line of thinking and this includes some of the greatest minds in history. So I don't minimize this. If you try to be happier, you're going to get in your own way. And that a happy life is one where people don't think about being happy. In my mind, people don't hit a target by not aiming at it.
Right.
And when people argue this to me, they say things like, well, I don't worry about having a happy life. That's not what's important to me. I want a life of purpose, connection with other people, vitality, and curiosity. And I'm like, well, what do you think it would look like to try to have a happier life?
Right,
exactly that way.
Yeah.
I just wondered, because it seems to me like you have fun with it. It's like off-white delight. Oh, that's fun. But then you get stressed out thinking like, oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, I think just certain things hit really hard. We always do design your summer.
That's a good point.
Years are different. Some years it's not important. Other years it is. This year, as you mentioned, for design your summer, I just, on a whim, without spending 5 seconds thinking about it, said to myself, this summer I'm going to wear off-white all summer between Memorial Day and Labor Day as often as I can whenever I'm out. And I'm going to call it my summer of off-white delight. And once I said it in my mind and then to you, it became a fact.
Yes.
Written in stone, written in the color stone.
Yeah.
And I've really embraced it. I mean, I've bought these, off-white pieces, putting together different outfits. I've been taking my picture in the outfits. I've been logging it in the Happier app, the Design Your Summer section.
Yeah.
So that I have really gotten into. And it's just like certain things you're really going to get into, whether it's because the way it is calls to me or the time of life or whatever. But here's what I know. If we didn't do that, like if we didn't do Design Your Summer, in a million years, it would never have occurred to me, hey, I'm going to try this fun thing of wearing white all summer. Now, is it important in the world that I wear white all summer? No. But does it give me a little bit of pep in my step and flair for summer 26? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So it's the mindfulness thing, right?
Yes.
If we're not putting our mind to it, it's just not going to happen, at least for me. And I am not the person that would create a ritual or come up with a theme or all of that if I weren't actively doing it because of the podcast.
Well, yeah. And it's kind of like the thing about the podcast in general or my books where I'm thinking, it's not that it's rocket science. It's not that somebody couldn't do it on their own. It just doesn't occur to you.
Right.
You don't think, oh, well, I could do X, Y, Z. You miss an opportunity, not because you're not willing to do it, but just because you hadn't thought of it. And then if you cross something off the list, that's very satisfying. It keeps something top of mind. Yeah.
Or like, for instance, Sarah and I, because you and I would come up with themes for the year.
Yeah.
Then Sarah and I had the idea of coming up with a team theme, team symbols and all of this. Yeah. We came up this year with being the killer bees.
Yes.
Now that's led to every Friday, we have a killer bee work hour on Zoom where we invite people to work with us. We both have bee rings that we wear, especially, for like big meetings, we'll wear our bee rings, which, nobody knows we're doing, but it's just our little thing.
Yeah.
We had last year Hive 25 where we got together, for 25 hours and worked every so often. So it expands into this whole world. And I just find it so fun.
Yes.
To be like a part of something like that.
Yeah.
It just makes life richer.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just love it.
Yeah. No, I agree. It just makes life more vivid and more interesting.
Yes, more vivid.
Yeah.
Here's a question. What is your favorite thing of the year that we do? Like your word of the year, your list of things, design your summer. I feel like I'm moving into a phase where I'm really going to try to start embracing design your summer.
Oh.
I feel like this year is the first year I really embraced it. I want that to build.
Interesting. I love the 3 design your year challenge. I found the one word theme really creatively interesting. I really love that. And the word is always very significant for me. Like this year being neighbor. I mean, talk about the Knicks. That's part of the Knicks.
Yes.
It's like the neighborhood feeling of that the Knicks give the city. And then door was huge. Wave was huge. Salt. I mean, salt might be my all-time favorite one. The imagination of it. I love the list. I do feel like I get a lot of things done that I really want to do because they're on the list, because I just really want to cross things off the list. And then I love the challenge. The challenge is always fun. We've had amazing challenges.
Well, see, again, I wouldn't do any of that if we didn't have a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do you ever get tired of thinking of these things and being in charge of them?
I don't. I love it. I find it endlessly fascinating, I have to say. And I go through the world. You know what it's like, Liz. I'm always like, oh, I got to write that down. Oh, hold on to that thought. Oh, we got to do that here, do that here, do that here.
Oh, no.
No, I find it immensely satisfying to have a place to put all these things because I love. Remember the thing with the ladders? All of a sudden, I was just like, oh my gosh, ladders. Ladders are so dangerous. How do I spread the word? I just stumbled across it. So I was so happy to be like, oh my gosh, this is a big happiness stumbling block. People, beware the ladder.
Yeah.
And so to me, it was immensely satisfying. So to me, and then with my books and stuff, and then even like 5 things making me happier, I love having a place for all these ideas to go. So I don't get tired of it. Oh, good. So it's good. We both enjoy it. Well, that's good since we're both doing it. Excellent.
Yes,
wonderful.
Exactly. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be hard if we didn't.
If we didn't, that would not be a happy existence. And now for a spotlight on a tool. Halfway Day is coming up soon. Halfway Day is July 2nd. That makes it a very useful time to review your 26 for 26 list. We all made these lists at the beginning of the year, but sometimes our aims change over the course of the year. Sometimes you have to adjust them for the summertime because schedules change, energies change, routines change often in the summer. I put together a collection of resources about reevaluating your aims and adapting your habits for summer and, figuring out how to keep it going for the second half of the year because, there's plenty of time. Keep going. All that can be found at happiercast.com/designyouryear.
All right, Gretch, coming up, there's something you've been meaning to tell me, but first, this break.
This message comes from Harvard Business School Executive Education. Now is the time to invest in yourself and change the world with your voice. Our programs connect you with faculty at the forefront of their fields, introduce you to a global network of leaders, and help you step into your full potential. The next chapter is yours. Let us help you write it. Apply today to accelerate your future. Learn more at hbs.me/accelerate. That's hbs.me/accelerate.
Hey, it's Julie Louis-Dreyfus from Wiser Than Me, etc. Just popping in with a little reality check. Food waste shouldn't exist. There is no reason that our leftovers should end up in a landfill, but that's the final destination for about a third of the food we grow. God, our ancestors would be confused. They use their food scraps as compost, or as animal feed, or in weird soups, all the stuff we did before garbage was invented. But composting is hard work. Living with a bucket of rotten food on your counter is gross. Most food goes in the trash because it's easy. And these days, we'll take any easy we can get. But now there's something easier. Drop your scraps in a mill food recycler. It looks like a kitchen bin and an iPhone had a baby. It takes nearly anything, even meat and bones. It works automatically. You can keep filling it for weeks, and it never smells. When you finally empty it, you've got these nutrient-rich grounds. Use them in your garden, pour them in your green bin, or have Mill get them to a small farm so the food you don't eat can help grow the food you do, just like it should be. It's why I own a mill, why I invest in Mill, and why I'm still obsessed with my mill. If you want to get obsessed too, go to mill.com/wiser to get $75 off. That's mill.com/wiser for $75 off.
I've been trying to say yes more to little adventures. Nothing huge, just getting out of the routine and going somewhere different for the day. And it really makes you appreciate having a car that feels solid and comfortable, where you're not thinking about the drive, you're just focused on where you're going. That's what stood out to me about the Defender. It has that rugged design, but it also feels really thoughtful inside. And I like that there's a full lineup, from the two-door 90 to the 110, and the 130 with seating for up to 8. So it really fits different kinds of plans.
And it's built with those durable, purposeful materials so you can actually use it without worrying about every little thing. It also has features that make driving feel easier, like ClearSight technology and the Pivy Pro system, so you can keep track of where you're going and everything you want to listen to along the way. Plus, with up to 89 cubic feet of cargo space and available 3 rows, it gives you a lot of flexibility depending on what you're bringing with you. Explore the full Defender lineup at LandRoverUSA.com.
Okay, listen, there was something that you and Sarah were talking about on Happier in Hollywood. I was absolutely flabbergasted because I think of you as being a true TV person. I mean, obviously you write for TV and you create shows for TV, but you also love TV. And you mentioned that you have trouble with the mechanics of watching TV. And I was so staggered by this, but also so relieved because I'm like, why is it so hard sometimes to just watch TV?
Yes, I was talking about how I hadn't been able to turn on any of the TVs in our house for like 2 years.
So how do you watch TV? You watch TV.
So I had been watching everything on my iPad, or if Adam and I were watching together, then on the TV, but he would have turned it on. Well, I will say, once it's on, I could navigate. I can find Survivor.
Yeah.
It's just getting it on and in the right place to do what needs to be done. And I feel like for years, our TVs have been getting more and more confounding. And I feel like every time we make a move to make it simple, it gets more confusing. Like, I'll never forget when we got our first universal remote that was supposed to be like the thing that changed the game, that made all the things coming together so easy. I never figured out the universal remote. And we ended up deciding we had a very bad universal remote, but that was the beginning of the end for me. We have so many different remote controls. I can't remember what turns on what order. Now, I will say, Gretchen, because I was talking about this, And because it came up, because there was something I really wanted to watch live on TV, which I will admit was the Summer House reunion. There's a big scandal going on at Summer House. Adam figured out how to turn on the TV in the office and taught me to do it. Although I will say I have been doing it, but it's still sort of me just pushing buttons to find what I need to find. So I am turning it on, but then I still have like a random pushing of buttons until I get to where I need to go.
So when Adam does it, is he also kind of doing that? Or does he like push, push, push and it comes on easily?
So certain TVs, he knows confidently how to get them on. But others, he has to do a little experimentation if it's not one he uses very often.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a note to all of you who are good at this kind of thing, which is if you're good at this kind of thing and somebody says to you, please show me how to do it. It is very nice when they will show you how to do it. And they tell you in a way so that you can learn.
Yeah.
Because in my household, people just rip it out of my hands and are just like, I'll do it. But I want to learn how to do it. But I want you to tell me how to do it. But then they often are like, well, I don't even know. I just push a bunch of buttons and it comes on. I'm like, but you seem to know how to push those buttons.
It's like muscle memory.
It's muscle memory. It's almost like typing. Like if somebody said, how do you type the word bunny? I would have to be like, okay, well, you use your index finger and like, I don't know. But people will continue to pester you if you do not teach a man to fish or something. Like teach a person to use the remote control and then they won't badger you to help them use the remote control.
Well, Gretch, can I give you a gold star? Because at your house in the country, you have a big TV, very complicated, and you wrote out instructions for guests. Very specific, very precise to follow to turn on the TV and find what you want to find. And Adam and I followed the instructions and found what we wanted to find. And it was so great.
Can I just say, when you did that, I was astonished. I really, truly didn't believe that that would actually work. I don't know why I wrote out the directions if I didn't think that they would actually work if somebody followed the directions. I was like, how did you turn on the TV? And you said, we just follow the directions. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that's impressive. Yeah, just following the directions sometimes feels very hard. So anyway, I was very encouraged by that because I was like, what's my problem? Like everybody else knows how to do this. Our mother is great with TV. She's a button pusher like all the rest of them. She knows how to do it.
Well, and Sarah keeps telling me that if you just get a Roku TV, it's as easy as any like old school TV. But I am just not willing to get a new TV. I don't want to get a new TV.
So here's my ignorance. If you get a Roku TV, does that mean literally it is the screen or it's a thing that is part of the TV
I don't
goes
even
with
know.
the screen? Or is it a platform? I don't know.
I don't know. Next time I'm at Sarah's, I'll take a look. But again, I don't want to get a new TV. I resent that you keep having to get new TVs with this changing of the remote system. So I don't know.
And getting a new TV is so elaborate now. It used to be it was just like came in a box and you plugged it in the wall. And now it's a whole to-do.
But it's funny, Gretchen, because I always am saying to Jack, why are you watching shows on your phone? How can you watch Game of Thrones on your phone? And then here I am watching on my iPad, which isn't that different. I mean, yes, it's bigger, but it's not that big. So
that's so funny.
I should let Jack do what he wants.
Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, it made me feel better and reassured that you also have trouble. The sheer mechanics of watching TV.
Yes. All right, Gretchen, what is our quote this week?
Well, this comes from Virginia Woolf's diaries because one of the things I'm doing to design my summer is I'm reading Virginia Woolf's diaries. She wrote, glass is the best of all decorations, holding the light and changing it. So, Elizabeth, are you feeling happier?
Yes, I am feeling happier. Thank you to Chuck. Bye, Gretch.
Bye, Elizabeth. The best time to start a happiness project is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Elizabeth, I wonder if part of the reason that I haven't started watching Girls yet is because I'm just like, oh, gosh, I'm going to have to turn on the TV.
Oh.
Because Jamie doesn't want to watch it with me, so it's something that I need to watch by myself.
Aha.
And I'm like, I can turn on the TV.
Yes.
I just have to, push around until I get it. But It's just that little bit of friction, I think.
Yes.
Or that thing where
reassign-
it signs you out and then you have to sign in again every so often.
Yes.
Just that little bit of friction.
Yep.
Struggling with weight loss? Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet is a clinically developed nutrition program designed to promote fat loss while protecting lean body mass. Developed at USC's Longevity Institute, it assists the body in entering a fasting-like state that helps reset metabolism and target visceral fat. In just 5 days, Prolon offers a science-backed approach to weight loss without extreme restriction or guesswork. Get 20% off plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe at prolonlife.com/now.